Navigating the Fed, exploring the Federal Reserve's impact on the U.S. economy. Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the intricacies of Powell's predicaments and understanding how the Federal Reserve plays a crucial role in shaping the roller coaster ride of the U.S. economy. I know it might sound a bit dry, but trust me, it's like the behind-the-scenes drama of your favorite movie. You just didn't know it yet. Now picture this: free market economies running wild, fueled by individual fear and greed. It's like a crazy party that can get out of control, especially during times of instability. But fear not, because history has shown us that economic systems have evolved to tackle these wild rides. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the US government is not just regulating the economy. They've got a superhero team called the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, to keep things in check. The Fed's mission? To maintain a stable and growing economy through price stability and full employment. Sounds cool, right? They've got two main tricks up their sleeves: manipulating interest rates, engaging in open market operations, OMO, and adjusting reserve requirements. But what does all this mean? And how does it help us avoid economic disasters? Let's break it down. Tool number 1, manipulating interest rates. So the first tool in the Fed's arsenal is like the DJ at the economic party: manipulating interest rates. It's a dance of raising and lowering interest rates to slow down or speed up the economic activity. Imagine it like adjusting the volume on a party playlist. Lowering interest rates means it's cheaper to borrow money and less lucrative to save. Result? People and corporations start spending more. It's like a domino effect. Lower rates, less saving, more borrowing, and more spending. But hold on, there's a catch. Lowering rates also tends to crank up inflation. It's like adding extra spice to the party, but too much spice can ruin the whole dish. So, the Fed needs to be careful not to overdo it and accidentally send us into an inflation frenzy. Tricky, right? Tool number 2, open market operations, OMO. Next up, we've got open market operations, the economic equivalent of buying and selling cool merchandise at the party. Here's the deal: the Fed buys or sells treasury bonds in the open market. When they buy, they're injecting cash into the economy, and when they sell, they're pulling cash out. It's like playing with the pulse of the economy. Buying bonds, money supply goes up; selling, money supply goes down. But that's not all. It also affects interest rates. Buying bonds pushes prices up, lowering interest rates. Selling bonds does the opposite. It raises rates. So, OMO is like the precision tool in the Fed's toolbox. It's like adjusting the lighting at the party to set the mood just right. Fine-tuning, my friends. Tool number 3, reserve requirements. Now let's talk about reserve requirements. Think of it as the Fed telling banks how much money they should keep in their vaults. It's like determining the amount a bank can lend out compared to their deposits. Adjusting these requirements is like playing with the bank's spending limit. If the reserve requirement is, let's say, 5%, and a bank gets a deposit of $500, it can lend out $475 and keep $25 as required. But if the Fed decides to increase the reserve requirement, the bank has less to lend. It's like limiting the amount of cash available for the bank to throw into the economic party. Tool number 4, influencing market perceptions. So here's the final tool: influencing market perception. The Fed wants to influence how investors see the market. Imagine it's like shaping the narrative of a blockbuster movie, and the Fed is the storyteller. They do this by making public announcements about the economy. For instance, they might say the economy is growing too quickly, and they're worried about inflation. Now, if investors believe this, they'll start making moves, like selling their bonds before interest rates go up. It's like predicting the plot twist before it happens. This strategy can work wonders if the market plays along. Bond prices go down, interest rates go up, achieving the Fed's goal of cooling the economy, all without actually touching interest rates. It's like pulling off a magic trick without the audience knowing how it's done. But of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Market perceptions can be a tricky thing, and it requires a keen eye on the pulse of the economy. Term auction facility, term securities lending facility. Now, let's rewind a bit to the financial roller coaster of 2007 and 2008. The Fed faced a new challenge. The credit markets were going haywire. With interest rates rising and the crash of subprime-backed investments, investors got a sudden reality check about the risks of credit. To tackle this crisis, the Fed had to get creative. They introduced the term auction facility TAF, and the Term Securities Lending Facility, TSLF. Think of them as the superhero duo coming to the rescue. 1. Term Auction Facility, TAF. The TAF was like a secret cash infusion. Financial institutions could access Fed dollars to meet short-term cash needs and fund lending. The cool part? It was done anonymously through an auction. Unlike the discount window, where everyone knows who needs cash, the TAF kept it hush-hush. It was all about preventing unnecessary panic and maintaining economic stability. 2. Term Securities Lending Facility, TSLF. Next up, the TSLF, the hero that swapped out the bad guys. With the value of mortgage-backed investments plummeting, financial institutions were in trouble. The TSLF allowed them to exchange these shaky investments for U.S. Treasuries. This move prevented a total collapse by keeping balance sheets in check until the storm passed. In fact, it played a crucial role in the Fed's takeover of Bear Stearns in 2007. Quantitative easing. When the Fed's usual tools just aren't cutting it, they bring out the big guns, quantitative easing, QE. Picture it as the ultimate power move in a video game. In times of severe crisis, like post-2008, QE involves the Fed buying longer-term government securities to boost the money supply, encouraging lending and investment. This isn't your average game, though. It's a game changer. By injecting new money into the economy, QE lowers interest rates, giving a much-needed nudge to economic activity. But, and there's always a but, it also blows up the central bank's balance sheet. When short-term interest rates are near zero, normal operations don't cut it, so the Fed targets specific amounts of assets to purchase. Now, if QE doesn't do the trick, some central banks have gone even further with negative interest rate policies. The Fed has never gone below zero, but it did hit 0% to 0.25% post-2008 and again in 2020 in response to the pandemic. So there you have it, folks, the Federal Reserve's secret weapons to keep the U.S. economy in check. Understanding these tools is like having a treasure map in the ever-changing landscape of the markets. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into economic mysteries, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep rocking the economic dance floor.